what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time today to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. And today I'm going to be doing another cards I want to run video. This video did really well, which is awesome. Not that that's what it's all about in filming, but you guys seem to really enjoy this video, which I was really pleased about. And so I came up with 10 more cards that I want to run. These are cards I either have in my collection or cards that I think are pretty. I am a goblin. There's no other way to say it. I'm the character from Moana who's like shiny. That's me. Like that song, that's who I am as a person. So we're going to be talking about cards that I want in this video. And this is like, I feel like in the first part I at least had some practicality. This is just, these cards are pretty and I want them. And a lot of them are. Some of them are like, for obviously like there's good value in these cards, but a lot of these are just for true aesthetic purposes. And this is the direction that I want. So, let's just dive into it. And we're starting off really strong with Moonshaker Cavalry. And there's going to be a picture of the exact art that I want, the full art. This is the store championship promo thing or whatever. There's no other words to describe this card other than it is a work of art. This is a stunning card. And here's the thing about this card is a lot of people have said it's a white Craterhoof Behemoth now. It's different than Craterhoof Behemoth, obviously. It gets +X, and it gives a flying instead of, and then it's just a big flying thing. I think the problem is like, where would I put this? It doesn't fit in Angels. I could realistically put this in tokens as an alternate win condition, as just a thing to really buff my team. But I already feel like I have Overrun in that deck, and then what else do I run where I can get away with like triple white? I don't know. And that's kind of my problem. I feel like if I were to build something that was maybe 2-color. I feel like there's so many good Orzhov cards that I have that I want to run, and this is something that would be so good if I did an Orzhov build. Like, I feel like I have so many good things. I don't own this. It'd be really cool if I did. How expensive is it? Let's see. Let's do a little check on TCG Player. Oh my goodness, it is $65. I mean, you know what? For good reason. This would be a card that, like, if I ever got this in a trade, that'd be awesome. I don't think it's gonna happen though. If you thought that was ridiculous, just wait. Okay, next up is the Dark Confidant Store Championship promo. I have no business running this card. Like, zero business. I don't need to run Bob for any amount of reasons. And here's the thing, is I think my problem with running this card would be, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this story, but there was this person who ran Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant's a very popular, or at least it was, Modern card. I don't keep up with Modern these days. I have seen it being used in EDH, like, I think one time, maybe, in my time of playing Commander. I saw I heard this story about this person who was playing Dark Confidant in Modern and flipped, like, Blightsteel Colossus plus, like, some other ridiculous thing and then just, like, died in 2 turns. The problem is that would be me. That would be me. And I think if you're going to play Dark Confidant, I think you'd want to run it with cards that you can manipulate your top, such as Sensei's Divining Top. And this is an unpopular opinion, but I think Sensei's Divining Top is a very overrated Magic card in most builds. I think in the right build, it works, and I think if you're playing a deck like Dark Confidant, a card like Dark Confidant, and you're playing a deck around it, I think it's fine. This card is really, really pretty, though, and I've always just seen Dark Confidant being used. I think my thing is, too, it's also a 2/1. I just think that this card would immediately die, and I think I would just literally murder myself with this card, and that would be the end of my life. I also just want to say, too, life is totally a resource, and I'm all for giving up my life to do things. I don't know what video you guys are going to see first, but in my Mughis deck, I realized just how much life drain I have in that deck to gain. Like, I will Argyl's Bloodfast every day of the week and just drain myself. But something about this card, I feel like I just don't have control over it. I think that's what it is, but it is stunning. If I had this, I would definitely play it. But what would I do with it? I mean, where would I put it? I have no idea. Okay. All right. Okay. Next up is Fracturing Gust. This is the, what is this from? This is from Secret Lair? It doesn't look like it's from a Secret Lair. I thought it was from the Strixhaven thing. Oh, it is from Secret Lair. Okay, I don't know why, but I thought this was from Strixhaven. It's giving me the Strixhaven, the showcase ones or whatever. I love those. Anyways, this card I could actually see myself playing with. The problem is, I feel like I run so many artifacts and enchantments that I feel like I would end up hurting myself. Like, this to me feels like it would be perfect in my newest tokens build. And this is definitely not off the table. Like, I might slot this in there at some point if I feel like I have that, because a lot of my board wipes in that deck are more creature based because they don't target me. So for example, I'm running a lot of things that, for example, I'm running a lot of like destroy all non-token creature, right? Non-token creatures, yeah, because then it doesn't impact me. But I'm not really running a lot of like other like artifact and enchantment removal. So I might find that there just needs to be a spot in that deck that I reserve for this. And so I'm actually going to convince myself of running this card because I think it is absolutely beautiful and it's not expensive, which is awesome. Like, comparatively to those other cards that we just talked about, this foil is $250. Like, that is not bad at all, and it is so incredibly pretty. I'm a sucker for like castles. I think architecture is just so cool. Like, my parents just visited and they were talking about like going to different places. They were talking about like old churches. Oh my gosh, I'm not religious, but like old church architecture is stunning. There's something about it that I just really like. Anyways, I think that this card would be, I need to run it in something. I just don't know what. I just think it's that like dual like white or green. I don't know. Like, this I could also put in ladies probably, and it would fit because I have the most green white in that deck. Like, those are the colors that are most represented. So I could technically run in like 2 decks. Convince me. Do you run Fracturing Gust? Is it good? Okay. And you also gain like some life, which is cool. Okay, next up is a card that I talked about when I was doing my Ravnica Remastered thoughts with Koji, and we talked about Deathrite Shaman and how Deathrite Shaman was getting the old bordered treatment, like the retro frame treatment, as a lot of things have been. And I feel like this is a card that I really should be playing with because it could belong in so many different things, right? Like, this in Tasigur is good. And here's the thing too, I'd also just like to note about playing this in Tasigur. Somebody I think had commented about this card and running in Tasigur about how it does really well. The problem is I'm not going to be exiling stuff from my graveyard because I exile stuff from my graveyard with Tasigur's ability, or I run like dig through time and things like that. So I'm not going to be exiling with my graveyard. But I feel like targeting other people's stuff, regardless of the bonuses that you get with Deathrite Shaman, is ridiculous for it being 1 mana, and then you get things out of it. You're either gaining life, you're either having your opponents lose life, or you're adding mana. Like, it does everything that you want it to for 1 mana, and then you tap all the things and those are 1 mana. Like, this card is sweet. I don't know. And I don't think it's expensive too. Like, the one that I'm talking about specifically, which is the one from the retro frame from Ravnica Remastered, the foil is, oh my gosh, it is $7. That is not bad. Tell me right now that I need to buy this card. What am I holding back on? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would run this card in, like, that would fit color scheme, because I would need Tasigur colors. The Tasigur would be the deck that I'd run it in. Slots are tight in Tasigur. I don't know what I would take out, but you know what? Maybe. Okay, this is probably like the pinnacle of the video. Like, if you're not strapped in, you should be, because this is like one of the dumbest stories that I'm about to admit to you. Okay, so some of my, not like, I don't think any of my commander decks have undergone what like Ladies has undergone, where I've taken this deck apart and put it back together like 3 times, which is pretty crazy. And here's the thing about that deck is there are cards that I will occasionally see or occasionally remember, be like, yeah, I remember when I ran that card in Ladies in particular, which is really fun. And I do not know why, but I am chilling, minding my own business, when suddenly this card pops into my head. And I'm like, oh my God, this card. Guys, I spent a solid 10 to 15 minutes trying to find this card because it has only ever been printed 1 time randomly in a Theros. Any guesses? No, you're not going to guess this card because there's a good chance you don't even know what this card is unless you played like Theros Standard or like Theros Draft. Ephara's Warden. I have no business running this card. 0, 0, 0. The foil is 20 cents. I want it because it's pretty and because Paul said it looks like Princess Jasmine. That is it. There is no other story behind this card. When I am telling you, I looked through set by set by set trying to find this card. Well, now I have it and it's never going anywhere. In my brain, it's here forever. I just want this card because it's pretty. I don't have business. Where would I put this card it's not even that good. It's really not. Like, it's just another Gideon's Lawkeeper, but with restrictions of it. It's pretty, like, limited restrictions. I just want it because it's pretty, okay? Convince me out of this one, okay? Okay, next up is Dramatic Reversal. I've seen Dramatic Reversal pop up on a lot of, like, I frequently look at EDH Rec. I spend a solid amount of time on EDH Rec looking. I really like, too, that they have, like, a new section of cards that get printed. And so this card had popped up on, like, Tasigur, I'm sure, and probably other blue builds that I've also seen. And did I say Dramatic Reversal? I don't know if I said the name of the card, but I think this card is just so cool. And the problem is I don't know where I would put it. Like, I don't know where it fits, because I feel like this card looks really good. The problem is it's non-land permanence. And I think that would be, like, my biggest thing that I'd want to untap, but, like, maybe this is just really good for, like, you go for all out attack and then you, like, untap all your non-land permanents. I just don't know. I need to know, anybody who plays with Dramatic Reversal, where does it fit in, and do you like it? Is it a good card? Because it is, like, I mean, is it expensive? I don't think so. No. Okay, this card is cents. Never mind. I thought that it was, like, $1. Okay. The foil is expensive. The foil is like $10. This is a $10 common from Kaladesh. Wow, people want this card. Anyways, I just think it's cool. I just don't know where I'd put it. So, okay. Next up is a card that I've hung on to for a while. We've had this in in Paul's binder for a really long time. And when I was doing a most recent Card Kingdom order and going through the binders, I rediscovered this card and was like, I wonder if I should just do something with this, but I don't know what, and that is Mormir Vig. I knew a person who had a Mormir Vig deck a really long time ago, and if I built this, it would be multicolor. Like, it would be capitalizing off of the green and the blue, so playing both. I wonder if this would do a good in my Aragorn the Uniter Multicolor of Madness deck. It would be limiting in the sense I wouldn't totally be capitalizing off of this deck because I am running all colors but black. So I would be running, like, there might be a chance that I run, like, a white red card that, like, doesn't interact with this at all, but I just think this card is really cool. It's not an expensive card too. Like, I have the I think it's like the From the Vault one. It's not an expensive card. It's like $2. But I just think that it's really cool. I like the ability. I love tutoring, and I like the fact that if you do blue green creature, it would go into your hand. So I just think that this card is really cool. I feel like if I were to do anything with it, it would either be to put that in the Aragorn the Editor deck, but it might end up getting cut at some point because it doesn't work with everything, or it would be its own commander deck. But I feel like I do this color combination a lot. I mean, this would be very different from AC, to be fair, because I have this in AC, and then I have what's it called? I have Tasigur as well that has this color combination, but I mean, it would be very different, so I don't know. Okay, next up is Linden, the Steadfast Queen. So I got this card in a trade a while back. It's the foil. I think it's the timestamped promo. And it's just been sitting there. And then when I built Ladies, because I think my thought behind this was like, okay, one day when I build, not Ladies, one day when I build Marchesa, it'll have a spot there. The problem that I discovered is that I can't run, other queens in that deck because Marchesa's the queen. So that was my whole thought process. It's very thematic. So then I was thinking to myself, okay, where else do I put this? And then I grabbed it in my original shell for tokens. The problem is that it doesn't hit everything because I don't actually have a lot of white creatures that attack. Like, I have a lot of different types of tokens, but not all of them are white, and I didn't want to rely on this card as like a life gain thing. It's a good card, I just don't have a spot for it, and now I just have the foil sitting. It's stunning, but like, what would I do with this card? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I would build her as a mono white commander. I already have Avacyn as a mono white commander, and given that this would be a pretty different deck, I just don't know what I would do with it. I think she's a really awesome card, and she's stunning, and the foil is so pretty. What am I doing with it? What am I doing with it? I don't know. That's the question here. All right. Next card is a card I've wanted to run for a while, and that is Trophy Mage. I actually just traded for this card. I thought I had this card or a foil version of this, but I don't know where it is. It might be somewhere. There's a chance that it is somewhere, or maybe I decided I would never run it, so I got rid of it. But anyways, I just recently traded for this. I have tried to make artifacts work for me so many different times. It's just nothing has stuck. I don't know what I would do with artifacts, and I want to run like mass artifacts in Commander. Like that would be a really far out Commander project that I would do. I have no idea what I would do. But I will say, if I was building Commander artifacts, I would be playing at least blue. I'd probably be doing multicolor because I'd want to run this Mage cycle. I'm talking about Trophy Mage, but there's a bunch of these. These are really cool. It's 2 for an artifact 3, then you're left with the 2/2. I got this. It's the game day promo card. It's not foil, but it's really pretty. I really like it. I want to run her. I just don't know what I would do with it, because like here's the thing is, I feel like if you're gonna play this, you gotta capitalize off the artifacts, right? Like I wouldn't just throw this in a deck that has like casually an amount of artifacts. You know, I want to be getting things out of this. So, and then this is a really nice segue into the last card, and that is Mystic Forge. I know so many of my friends who play with this card because again, they have artifact decks and I just don't. Just somebody tell me what artifact commander to do that has blue so I can run Trophy Mage and Mystic Forge, and I'll do it. Okay, I should not make guarantees. I don't know. I don't make guarantees. This card is awesome. I've seen the effect of Mystic Forge. I know how good it is. I just have nowhere that it'll go. I love looking at the top card of my library. Absolutely, I'm a fan of that. I do that. I want to do that at all times. You know, even if my top card of my library is revealed, you know what? Let me have my top card of my library revealed and let me instill fear into my opponents, because that is what I strive to do at all points. Some people that bothers, it does not bother me. You want to know my next plan? Great. Because guess what? If I don't cast that card immediately, there's a good chance that people forgot about that card. There you go. When I cast top of my library for an artifact or a colorless non-land, and then you can also pay 1 to exile the top card of your library. So if you don't want it, you're overflowing with lands, it's a card that you don't want at the time, you can just exile it. It's a great card. I want to play it. Where am I putting it? I don't know. In this hypothetical artifact build that you're going to tell me what commander I should play. Anyways, guys, that is it. Those were 10 additional lands. 10 additional cards that I would like to play. I just don't know what I'm doing here. So, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I'll catch you on my next one.